Okay, so just keeping on, keeping on. We've gone and pulled the floor pan up here and taken a look at our frame, and our frame seems to be okay. So we've got a 1x2 on either side, and they look pretty decent. I did hose it down. This thing was caked in mud, so I don't know what river they got this thing out of, but it took half of the bottom with it. This here is just it's just angle iron, but it's pretty thin gauge angle iron, and I think mostly it's just for, you know, holding the body and the trim together. So I think ultimately what I came up with is that I'm going to cut these about here, and I'll obviously make better marks, but that gives me 3 inches on the front end and about 4, just like 4 1/4 or 4 1/2 here. So we'll split it here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to spread these out, and I think I'm going to go with a 36-inch stretch. A lot of people have done 33, which is just a strange number. I kind of like the even 36, even 3 feet. And what I'm going to do is actually just come on the outside, and I'm going to run just angle iron, just a 1.5-inch angle iron. And what that will allow is for, I'll have to grind that down. We're going to make this all level. That will allow me to go down about 1.25 inches, because remember the inside of the angle iron is beveled. So we'll go down 1.25 inches, and we'll be over, so that I will be able to run 1 bolt this way, 1 bolt this way on either side, and then I'll be able to follow it up with a nice bead right along the edge, just as a precaution. I don't think it's going to be completely necessary, but it's still good to have, because we don't want to put all of that on those bolts, even though the bolts that I'll be using should have about 8,000 or better tensiles, 8,000 psi tensile strength, so should be good there. As for the brake cables, I think simply what I'm going to do, rather than try and source out some limo length cables, is just lengthen these with a coupler. I'll get them to where they need to be, and we should be fine with that. This way I can still keep it where it's mounted. And then the same thing with the throttle, which I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with this, because this is a solid rod, so I may just have to source something longer. I know I can get these at Home Depot, so what I may end up doing is cutting this here, and then tacking something like this on where I can make it longer or shorter. You know, we'll do a big old threaded rod or something in there. It'll be okay. I think it'll work just fine. But that's the one thing I haven't worked out yet. If it was just a cable, that would be not a problem, but because it's that push rod, and that push rod is actually, when you take a look at it, actually is moving back. So I'm definitely going to have to make this longer, and obviously this piece has to come up, but it was just easier to just cut it out for now rather than pull this apart. We'll do that in a little while just to get rid of it, and obviously when we put our floor pan on, we'll have to get rid of that. But that's what we're looking at, 36-inch stretch. I'm probably going to have to relocate this thing somewhere else to do that, because it's not level here, and we don't have any room for variance. We don't need, you know, our cart dog tracking or anything. We want it nice and straight. We will center everything the way it's supposed to be. Like I said, we'll get a good straight edge on all of these, and when it's time, we'll do it to it. So I'll check back with you probably in a few days and see where we are.